Hi, I'm Arthur Moats, and I'm here to talk to you about the Moats theory of life and the amazing Father's Day sale that we have going on, ladies and gentlemen. So, leading up till Father's Day, if you purchase Moats Theory of Life, my new book, you can buy one and get the next one half off. I mean, this is a chance to help your father become a better person of impact and inspiration. You do not want to miss this opportunity. So with that being said, moatstheory.com is the place to go. You do not want to miss out, baby. What's up? What's up? It's the Arthur Moats Experience with Deke. I'm Arthur Moats, and that's my main man, Deke.
What's up, man?
Man, I'm excited, baby. Everything is talking about coming back right now. I mean, we talked about the last podcast, with the NHL presenting the 24 playoff team proposal. Yep. That was exciting. Yep. The NFL, they have been talking about really coming back. They're still questioning how the fan situation is going to play out, but that's gathering some steam.
Yep.
Obviously, NASCAR is still going on. I got a big race happening Thursday night tonight because yesterday the race was supposed to go on, but it got rained out, so postponed for the weather. But that's neither here nor there, But then I'm excited, man. It's a whole bunch of good stuff just happening, man. NBA looking like they're trying to make a comeback.
Dude.
Even though, did you see what my man Dame Lillard said, bro? He said he doesn't want it to come back. Not this year.
I don't know. Didn't he say only if he was out of the playoffs?
No, so this is the thing, right?
I didn't watch the actual interview.
Yeah, of course not. So what he was saying was this. He said that he doesn't want the season to go on. First off, the playoff positioning, obviously they were in place to make a run for the 8th or 7th seed because their schedule was going to be drastically easier. Whereas I think Memphis has the 8th seed right now, and they have on paper the hardest schedule going forward for the rest of the season.
Right.
So they felt that part wasn't going to be fair, but then they started talking about potential play-ins, right? So taking the top or the bottom 3 that were competing for that 8th spot in the East and
7,
the West.
8, 9, 10 seed, maybe.
Yeah, and have those teams have a play-in to get into the playoffs. So they talked about that, but Lillard said that his biggest issue is the health element of it, not from a COVID situation, because obviously he talked about that, but more so the players being on the court playing in games after this 2-month break. I think it's been 80 days now since everything stopped. And the thing that I can relate to, I said, man, your body, people like to think of professional athletes as like superheroes. They just show up, boom, they're ready to go. But for the athlete, man, your training is schedule based. You know what I mean? The way you're training in January is different than how you're training in May versus how once the season starts, you're training. So trying to have your body on that schedule, on that clock, so it's going to perform at an optimal level, but at the same time, it's going to be safe. You're not going to have the pulls, the muscle injuries and things like that. It's all about understanding, okay, how much time do I have to get everything rolling? But for the NBA players, they never really had that luxury right now. I mean, you think the first 2 weeks, it was kind of like, how long is this going to be going on? Is this a quick issue? And then we're back. Then 1 month turned into 2.5 months and just all the uncertainty. So training and trying to keep your body on a schedule. I mean, Bria Hartley, she talked about it a little bit as well, just how difficult it can be, especially depending on where you're living at and the resources that you have. So I could understand that element with Dame in terms of him not being, I guess, excited about potentially basketball coming back for this season.
His team ain't in it. That's really what's going on.
I mean, they're right in the mix, though.
Yeah, but to win it all, because I was listening.
Dude, think about last year. No, they made noise last year.
Dude, come on.
They didn't make noise last year?
It's just a different team, different season.
Dame Lillard is Dame Lillard. What are you talking about?
No, I know. Dame Lillard is Dame Lillard, but
yeah.
I mean,
it's always Dame Lillard and whoever else the other 4 you want to put out there with them. Or Dame Lillard and CJ McCollum, whoever else you want to put out there with them.
I don't think they're beating any of the top 3 or 4 seeds in the West.
They did last year. They was beating teams. Yeah, nobody gave him a chance. And then you saw when Dame hit the 3 in the walk-off? Come on, man. Cut it out. Stop it.
We're talking big winning here.
That is big winning. Anytime you win in the playoffs, big winning.
We knew they weren't beating the Warriors.
Nobody was beating the Warriors.
But either way, they're on the cusp this year. They're going to miss the playoffs if the season ended right now. I think that's what's really going on because I was listening to something. I think it was The Herd. I like listening to Coward. He had Danny Green on, and he said something, I guess, more towards the opposite, where it was like, this break has actually been pretty good for us with the Lakers. We're a veteran team, and we're looking for a championship. So this rest has been kind of nice. So...
Well, you got to think, too, for
it's
Danny,
not saying,
how long was he playing, though? Danny played into a NBA Finals last year, so he's probably the most worn out of anybody on that team with the Lakers.
And LeBron just been in the league for,
True,
how many
but
years?
LeBron, I mean, think about it. LeBron, his season ended super early last year. So he still doesn't have the same level of wear and tear that Danny Green had from this past season that they won it all in Toronto to hopping on with LA and then going on this grind as well.
That's what I mean. Yeah. I think Lillard's just saying that because his team's out of it.
Nah, see, I don't look at it that way, man.
Dude, I'm just... because he's not wrong. I mean, I guess everyone has their own feel and take on things, but... Am I just a LeBron fan and I'm hearing what I want to hear?
I mean,
don't know.
Typically do that.
I mean, I think everyone does, but I think there's a couple sides to it. I think the rest could be a good thing.
Okay.
But wait, hold on. Did you hear the playoff proposal? I don't know if it was actually discussed amongst NBA owners and coaches, GMs, but someone on Bill Simmons' site, The Ringer, wrote up an article. It explained it like it would be a round robin.
I did hear about that. Yes,
where it'd be 20 teams,
you playing in different groups,
4 groups, 5 teams in each group. I think everyone plays each other twice. 2 teams get out of the group. Dude, that would be insane. That would be so sick.
But this is my thing. If you're gonna do that, then if I'm Portland, I'm pissed. I feel like I should be involved in that.
You would be.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's 20 teams.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
It would include some of the teams on the cusp.
Which would then prove your point of who's going to do big winning or not, because that's a totally different ball game there.
What do you mean?
You get the bad matchup, man. That's a totally different...
A group of death.
I'm telling you. Hey, all right.
I just know LeBron's not going to be bouncing the first round, so I'm not worried about that at all.
It's all about the matchups. And we know LeBron's been training. We know LeBron has had access, but... It's a little different. That's all I'm saying, man.
But we're gonna get Lakers. We're gonna get Clippers.
You hope so, at least.
Bucks. That's all you really need.
I mean, I'm thinking back though, the year that Golden State won it all. No, the year where they I'm trying to think. When they went, was it 73-9? They could have essentially been bounced by OKC in that series prior to that. Remember in the Western Conference Finals? Then they also, I want to say, they struggled with somebody else that year too.
Was it Memphis?
Was it? No,
it might have won 6 games. I can't remember.
Yeah, but it was 2 other teams. So I'm like, there is no just guarantee that it's going to happen. They're going to get there.
You know what happened with that Warriors team? They didn't get that rest.
Whatever.
You see what I'm saying? Here?
I don't see what you're saying.
That's
here,
why
man.
they could have used a little rest.
All I'm saying is, when it comes to matchups, when you're talking the round robin type thing, because it's not like we're still talking 7-game series in that round robin. We're talking they said 2 games, right?
You play every team twice.
Yeah. That's totally different than your traditional 7-game series. In the 7-game series, you got time to really match up. Okay, we got this right here. We got that right there. You get in some of these groups, let's be real, they're not going to have a whole trash group where it's just the Lakers and 4 bum teams. Like, it's a little different. That's all I'm saying, man. Be careful.
It would be awesome.
Oh, I would love it.
It would be insane. But... Yeah, if the Lakers got bounced, well, you would be in your feelings. You don't deserve it then. You get bounced.
You would totally hate it though. Yes, you would.
If one of the top 3 or 4 teams get bounced, you don't deserve it.
Well, why not?
Now I would feel more bad.
It's different because of how this year is. So technically, you can't say they didn't deserve it. So it's therefore, if say you were living in a studio apartment or you had just a condo and you don't have access to the courts, you didn't have access to cardio equipment, that's your fault that you weren't prepared during this time. That's what you just said. You just said they don't deserve it. But you just said they don't deserve it if they get bounced in this round robin style game.
If one of the top 3 or 4 teams.
How can you say they don't deserve it? They were quarantined.
They're one of the top 3 or 4 teams.
They were quarantined.
Should win this game.
They were quarantined. How can you say you were training?
If you're LeBron, Giannis, Kawhi.
Giannis said it himself. Listen, Giannis said it himself. Man, I didn't even have a basketball goal to go shoot on. All I've been doing is cardio in the house. That's what he said his quarantine was like. And up until the Bucks just recently opened up their facilities, he said he hadn't shot a basketball. Dude, so how you going to blame him for that?
He's got resources. I don't know what's going on there. Why can't he build a hoop in his front yard or something?
He said he stays in an apartment complex.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which a lot of guys, if you not, I mean, obviously you got like your LeBrons and everybody thinks that everybody's LeBron. No different than NFL.
Giannis is on that level though.
Giannis got paid like LeBron?
He's got resources where he could at least get a basketball hoop and a basketball. No.
Stop it. And this is the thing. If I'm Giannis and I have 24/7 access to the Bucks facility, why would I need a court? Think about this. So you're saying
right, and
so
in general during the season.
So why would I even have to think about getting a basketball court or finding somewhere to shoot at?
This situation happened.
Yeah, no one was planning for this. Obviously, nobody in the world was. So you can't say that that's his fault for not having that.
No, I'm not saying it's his fault, but situation.
You're saying if he gets bounced, he doesn't deserve it.
No, if situation happens. You find a way to get a basketball hoop and a ball. That's
How? Doing quarantine when, remember, for the first month of this thing, it was, oh, man, you die if you go outside. Boy, you better not, hey, don't even look at somebody too hard.
Well, that's a whole nother debate.
It is a whole, we're not going to go down there.
Who are you listening to?
We're not going to go down there, but it was enough that the whole world shut down. So put it like that.
Everyone's got the same situation outside of LeBron then.
Well, we don't. I mean, we don't know. We don't know because that's documented, but
we don't know for a fact.
For example, Chris Middleton, he said, "Okay, I shoot at my neighbor's house."
That's what I mean.
But like, he lives in an actual house, not an apartment complex.
If you really wanted to shoot, I mean, couldn't you figure it out?
That's in New York City. So what about the guys in New York where they took the basketball court? They took the goals off the courts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man. Where have you been? Do you not watch the news?
I don't, man.
Clearly,
I really don't.
Yes, man. The governor took.
Try to stay positive,
man. The governor there took the basketball hoops off because they said people were still trying to go outside and shoot.
Dude, at the end of the day, everyone's dealing with this one way or another.
Yeah,
and you're gonna get a month or so coming back.
We're assuming that
whatever it is.
Yeah.
If you get bounced, you deserve it. That's all.
I personally don't think that
because you didn't play good enough in those games that you've been given. That's all.
I'm saying is this, dude. If you typically think about wait a minute. Do you this is the problem.
This is outside of an even round robin. If you get bounced in a 7-game series, you deserve to be out.
But if you're getting bounced in a 7-game series in a traditional year, sure. Not in this 1 month of preparing.
What about this year though?
This is what I'm saying. If this is a regular season and you have a regular 7-game series where you've trained all year for that season, for that series, sure, you're not going to tell me a team doesn't deserve to be in it if they get bounced after being quarantined for 2 months and then you have 1 month to quote unquote be ready to play basketball and you get knocked out. Like, I'm not hearing that, bro. You don't
What are
understand.
you hearing then? Are you good with excuses then?
It's not an excuse. It's real life. It's a reason why guys train all year round, right? It's a reason why when the season ends, you take a couple weeks off and you start training then for the season. You think guys wait a month before the season starts to get ready? You think you could get... Listen,
I'm not saying I'm going to be hard on the players. I'm just saying you don't deserve it. If you lose, you're out.
You think you could be ready to play? You think you'd be ready to play in a professional sport in a month of training? I will bet $1 million you won't be able to. I
have no clue.
It's professional athletes I know right now that if they took off everything and just took 1 month to train, they wouldn't even be ready to play. It's not how it works, man.
My question is though, what about looking back on the the 70s and 80s? Some of these dudes coming in,
okay,
just even off benders.
But no. Check me out. So you talk about the guys in the 70s and 80s. First off, their training camps were a lot longer. In particular, when we talk NFL, they didn't have the same like OTAs and stuff, but their training camp was way longer because that was their only time to get in shape to play, and their seasons were shorter. So that's the difference. In the NBA or in the NFL now, you look at how long these seasons are. You look at the competition level now compared to back then. It's different. That's all I'm saying. So you could try to make it as if it's just this, oh man, you had a month to get ready, you're ready to go. That's not how it works.
There's arguments for the NBA though, saying it was more physical back then. It's still 82 games.
You can't say it was more physical back then. Okay, we ain't going down there either. I don't have time for that.
What? I mean, there's arguments for that, no? I'm not saying it's a better or worse game. It was just more physical.
More physical because they just foul more?
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
so because you're fouling more, that makes it more physical? If a 200-pound guy fouls you versus a 260-pound guy fouls you, tell me which one you think is more physical.
What do you mean?
Just so back then, bigger? Yeah. Back then, those guys weren't big like how these guys are now. So you can tell me all day you want, man, about, oh, man, look at this guy right here. We talked about how big this guy is. I don't know,
dude. They were like legit brawl. Like you look at those Knicks teams and
brawl. Okay. A street fight is one thing. We're talking about a hard foul in basketball.
Bad boy Pistons. I don't know, man.
We're talking about a hard foul. How big was Lambert?
You don't hear stories about KD and LeBron having to overcome and get like crazy physically strong. Like Jordan had just to beat a team. Are you
trying to sell that
just
to me
beat
right
a team? That's all.
You're about to sell that to me right now?
No, I'm talking about physicality.
You're about to sell that to me right now. You're trying to sell that to me right now?
Oh, that's what I'm just saying, dude.
Okay.
I'm talking about physicality.
You go to okay.
You look at these Lakers-Celtics matchups and the fouls that were going on.
So tell me who was the most physical guy. A foul is a foul. Please tell me who was the most physical guy and who was his and how big was he? How big was he? Tell me.
Those dudes would continue playing the game, man.
How big was he? Tell me how big he was.
What?
How big was these physical brawlers, these tough guys? How big were they? Tell me.
They were big. They were tall.
How big?
They were tall.
How
man.
big?
They were big.
How big?
I just know there were a lot of fouls. A lot of fouls being called.
A lot of fouls doesn't equate to
back then. And
how do you
the
figure?
games
So
being
they
played
never
in a more
call fouls.
physical
So you're going to tell me they didn't call fouls back then? Now, is that what you about to tell me? You're trying to sell me on that? The bad boy Pistons. They never called a foul when they hit Jordan out the air.
People would be getting ejected from the game, dude.
That's okay, sure. Now because they realize that's not basketball. Because they realize it's not basketball. That's just
what I mean.
fouling.
It was more physical. Yes.
It's not more physical though. That's not more physical. Just because you're hitting a guy doesn't make it more physical. More physical is if I know if LeBron fouled one of those guys right there, the way they're quote unquote physical, somebody would have died. It's a difference. That's all I'm saying.
That doesn't happen.
Last thing we said was if LeBron did this more physical era back then, if LeBron hit one of those guys back then like that, somebody would have died. That's physical to me. With that was just, okay, you hitting the guy, cool. They're getting up because it ain't like that. It's cool though.
I don't know, dude.
That's how I feel about it.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
No, that's not what some of these dudes that were playing back then were saying. Like,
why wouldn't they say that? Of course, you're going to gas your era up. Same way Jordan was the toughest era they ever played. It's tough as this, tough as that. Okay,
I'm not saying it's better or worse. I'm just saying more physical.
Hey, to each his own.
And what I mean is they played the 82 games, and I don't know. I think the rest isn't going to be that detrimental. Maybe that's all.
Hey man,
you get a month to come back.
To each his own.
Here's my point. End of the day. In terms of when I say deserve, you lost the games. You deserve to be out of it. That's as simple as that. Everyone's on the same playing field. I'm not going to be hard on the players.
Technically, they're not all on the same playing field. We already broke that down.
LeBron,
now they're not.
LeBron.
You can't just say LeBron. How are you just going to say LeBron because you know LeBron?
Everyone's got their own situation. Though you figure out a way. And then if you have a month, to come back,
how do you figure out a way when you're supposed to be quarantining?
If you have a month to come back, you gotta figure out your own way. I don't know if that's not touching the basketball, like Giannis said.
So you saying you know what they should have done? You saying they should have just said forget the quarantine and just took their chances. You said figure out a way. That's what you're saying, right? Is that what you're telling me?
Never said that.
You said that you should just figure out a way. That's what you told me, Deke. Hey man, while this quarantine is going on where people would die, man, just figure out a way to get to a hoop. That's what you're telling me.
That's not what I'm saying.
You just said figure out a way. So what does figure out a way mean?
It could be either or. You could say screw it. I'm gonna figure out my way and not abide by safety rules. I'm gonna figure out a way where
which
it
one
is.
would you have done?
You know what I would have done, man. I still don't believe a lot of the hype with this thing. So, but each their own. Like I said, you figure out a way. That's all I'm gonna say. Fair enough.
You all funny, man.
You figure out a way.
I like it, man. But
that was interesting.
It was. Leave it to you to get us going, man. So in the NFL, obviously they're having their competition committee meetings, and they're gonna have some more throughout the rest of this week. But one of the things that has been brought up or proposed is the 4th and 15 onside kick alternative. So instead of your traditional onside kicks, they're making it where twice a game, a team can elect to do an onside kick alternative where they will, I think the attempt is from their own 25-yard line. They get one untimed down because they had to make sure it was untimed so you don't get a Belichick situation where you're just letting the clock run out. But you'll get one shot at a 4th and 15. If you do get it, then obviously you'll get the ball and retain possession. But if you don't, then the opposing team would get the ball wherever the spot was and going from there. But with these rules, they said that you can only do it 2 times per game. It doesn't matter if you're winning or losing. They said that they are going to allow it in. No. It's not allowed in overtime. Excuse me. Not allowed in overtime. And then they also said that you can run your kickoff team out there, call a timeout, and then change your mind and put your your offense out there to do the 4th and 15 play. But you cannot have your offense out there and then say, I changed my mind and put the kickoff team out there. So just, what are your thoughts on that?
I love it, man. We've talked about it before, and the onside kick percentage has gone down, and it's just become a less and less exciting play in the league. And you're putting your best players out there to make a play. So I go back and I'm looking at the Packers Seahawks NFC Championship game, the one that Rodgers got screwed out of making the Super Bowl, because the Seahawks came back, they made an onside kick, and don't even know what his name is now.
He got fired like the next day, man.
Didn't know what his name was then, but he was, 3rd, 4th stringer somewhere. But he was on special teams, and it clanged off his chest, and Rodgers missed out on the Super Bowl. So, and that's, I don't know, you could say it's an excuse or not.
That definitely an excuse because Rodgers have 4 quarters to do something.
It is what it is. But no, here's my thing. If Russell Wilson came in, it's 4th and 15.
Okay.
And he scrambles around and makes a play and gets the ball to Doug Baldwin.
Okay.
And they advance and they end up kicking a field goal or scoring a touchdown. I forget what exactly happened, and they win the game. You're at least feeling good about it. You're like, okay, that was their best player at quarterback, their best receiver going up against the Packers' maybe best defensive pass rusher or best defensive cornerback, and they beat them that way. You lost the game with your best players on the field, both sides.
Okay.
So I definitely think this is a good rule. It makes it more exciting.
Okay.
I was thinking 4th and 15 might be a little too close, but this is just nitpicking. Maybe 4th and 17, 4th and 19. But you know what?
I mean, the percentages of 4th and 15, well, actually 3rd and 15, because there's not really a lot of percentages for 4th and 15. But the percentages for 3rd and 15 are very, very low in terms of completion.
So I'm guessing they looked into it a little more than me, so I'm good with it just all around. Because that's completely nitpicking.
Okay. So for me, I like the idea. I think it does spice it up a little bit. Obviously, because the way not even the onside kick, but just the kickoff and kickoff return format is now by alignment, it makes it almost impossible to even recover onside kick. Just like I said, based off the alignment of it. So I do like that element of it. Now, I laugh anytime I hear somebody say, well, man, you got your best player out there, this and that. I mean, your kicker gets paid for a reason because he's the best kicker on the team. So best player, it's all situational, it's all subjective. Ben's the best player on the team. You have him go ahead and kick the field goal.
Just
Ben.
In general, dude, I would like to take the impact of the kicker more out of the game, though.
You don't like special teams, that's what it is. You don't want a kicker until you need a kicker. You didn't like kickers until Boz was missing. Now all of a sudden it's kicker. Then when Boz started hitting again, now it's like, we don't need kickers. That's all I'm saying. This is my thing. If you are a purist of football like how I am, you enjoy the game. You enjoy the team element of it. You enjoy every part having to work together. That's what makes teams unique. That's what makes Vinatieri, when he was kicking game-winning field goals for the Patriots in the Super Bowl, so special because, hey, this is a team effort. Everybody is holding their weight. It's not just like basketball where one guy can go out here and just, hey, man, you take over, you do it all. No. We all have to play our part. We all have to do a job. That's what makes football the ultimate team sport. Now, if you want to get away from the team element, I think you do lose a little bit of that part with football when you start trying to minimize somebody's role in that regard. And I'm personally not a fan of that. So I do like the fact they're only going to do it 2 times. It would allow it for 2 times in a game because I don't want to get away from the pure element of the game, of the team concept, of everybody having to do their job. Because if that's the case, play all your starters out there the whole time. Keep your receivers out there for special teams. Don't make that face. You want your best players out there, right? So have your starters, your starting defense on kickoff coverage team. Have your starting offense on kickoff return team and make it work. I don't want to hear it if you want to go that route. But that's the whole purpose of it being a team. So that's why for me, I personally like having all those guys having to do their job.
Okay, but with the whole new rule, 4th and 15, what do you think of that? Just in a vacuum.
Since it's 2 times, if they're only allowing it for 2 times, I'm cool with it. I feel like if you just allow it for any time, then it's going to turn into some backyard football stuff. And I'm not really a fan of that element. I like the integrity of the game.
You could do it at the beginning of the game then, huh?
Well, I mean, if they're going to just say, oh, man, you can do 4th and 15 whenever you want to instead of kicking it off.
I know you're obviously going to be a lot more strategic, so you would use it twice at the end.
It's no different than when you think I was a part of that Steelers team that was very, I guess, progressive when they started doing the 2-point conversion. We weren't even kicking field goals. Remember that. We've played the percentages of, hey, okay, if we go for it, the 2-point conversion in 3, exactly, times. Like the points add up. We're going to be productive in that regard. We're going to win in that regard. So we were already ahead of the time in that regard. So I know if they say, oh yeah, you can do 4th and 15 whenever, they're going to start playing. All right, well, shoot, if we get it 5 out of these 7, 8 times, hey, man, that's all these different possessions. It's still in that, and that. And then it goes to something totally different. Then before you know it, there isn't even a special teams element into the game. And now it's just weird football.
Watch out with what Belichick does. If he starts using this rule at the beginning of the games or something.
He could. He definitely could.
Maybe that could be some type of outlier, some type of glitch in the system that he's found.
No. I think you have to tread lightly with this because I could tell you 2 situations where it can be bad. If I'm on offense, 4th and 15, hey, receiver, run as far as you can. I'm going to throw the ball straight up in there. You jump into the DB, make contact. Pass interference, we getting the ball. Is that a spot foul now? Because typically, Pass interference in the NFL is a spot foul. So instead of me getting that 15, now I done got 40 yards on you. If you're the Pittsburgh Steelers and you on defense, you are absolutely sick. And we all know for a fact
that could happen at any time in the game, though.
Exactly. But we know for a fact in that situation, you're gonna make that referee have to make that call. And if you play the odds, now okay, if I do that 3 times, referee's gonna have to call it at least once. So when is it gonna be?
Yeah, but where you're getting the, I mean, if you're doing that at the beginning of the game or the middle of the game,
okay,
you're having the ball on your own 25, right, or on 35.
Yeah, that's where it starts at. But I'm telling,
so if you don't get it out of the, so they're only going to be allowed to do it twice. If you don't get it one of those times, I mean, they're going to have the ball right there at the 35. So
but it's no different than whenever you call it. You still got the same situation.
There definitely could be some strategy to it.
Multiple ways you can go about getting that. Or I run these rub routes. I know that the DBs are going to bump into each other, get some contact, create it, sell it, fall down. That's automatic first down. Correct? That's by rule. Even if that only happened at the 7 yards into this play. If you on defense, if your Pittsburgh Steelers are waiting there trying to get this stop and that happens and we go down and lose, you're going to be absolutely sick. You're going to hate the rule.
Exactly.
That's all I'm saying. So it's a slippery slope when you try to do this thing. Hey, best players on the field, I understand that. But we also know best players in the NFL equals it's an offensive-driven league. The same reason why the pass interference replay thing didn't work, because they didn't want to keep calling it. And we talked about how when you slow it down and you look at DeAndre Hopkins, you look at your ABs, you look at your Michael Thomases, and how on a lot of their catches, you're seeing the push off, you're seeing the OPI, and the first time you called it, it's like, oh man, fans didn't like that. They didn't like that at all. So then from there, you saw where they said, well, we're not going to call unless this guy absolutely egregious, like has to be the most brutal missed call ever for us to call it. And that's what it went to, because you already know fans want to see the touchdown, want to see the ball being thrown, I want to see all that. So that's another element that you got to be careful with, man.
Unless we're on defense, then I don't want to see it.
But we know how the rules work in the NFL. We know how referees call calls in the NFL.
Yeah, I'm not against what you're saying. I actually didn't really think of it that way. But I still stand by my first point that I want to see at least, man, Wilson took down Rodgers and the Packers, and
so what did he do during the 4 quarters then? Huh? You say he do? You want to see that? He got 4 whole quarters. What? But we already had this conversation. You will blank out 3 quarters of the game, and if the dude does something in 2 minutes, that's all that matters.
It's not all that matters, but there is something.
You weigh it more than anything else that happens in the game.
I'm not weighing it more, but there is something to. I saw it. I can't unsee it. That's a critical moment in the game, and it was basically won if you just catch that ball. I mean,
yeah, if that guy does his job, then Aaron Rodgers is in there. But I don't look at that as a knock on Aaron Rodgers or anything did great by Russell Wilson. I look at it as that coach staff probably should have done more to prepare that guy, or that guy himself probably should have done more to be prepared.
And that's just a tough thing to take. If that was Ben, dude, I would be livid. I would be livid, man. If that was us and the Steelers. Get
on the coach. You know what they do here in Pittsburgh? Danny Smith makes every person that's on special teams onside kick. They have to catch 3 of those onside kick footballs every day before they leave. You know why? Because it's a different ball that's being kicked. It's not. It's kind of like the equivalent of, I guess in baseball. If I'm throwing the ball to you playing catch, right? If I'm throwing it up in the air, you're going to catch it easier. It's a smooth ball. You can track it. Versus if I throw it off the ground sideways and it's bumping all around all the place, it's hard to track it. So when an onside kick, the ball goes crazy. It's wacky with the bounce. So if you're not accustomed to catching and familiar with it, you're going to be uncomfortable with that. And then in that situation with the pressure, you're going to mess up. So I blame the coaching staff for not having that guy ready to go, because in Pittsburgh, they make sure that anybody that has to catch a football, you're doing it every day. Even when you look in the second group, right? Where, you have this is how they used to do it. Now they're switching it because of the formations that you're allowed to do. But back, I guess, in 2010, 11, remember we used to have like the bigger offensive lineman on kickoff return, right? So you would have them getting together with the wedge and stuff. A lot of times what you would do is you would kick up the ball super high in the air to one of those fat linemen who've never caught a ball, and they're dropping it. And before you know it, you can recover it. In Pittsburgh, they making everybody, all those linemen have to catch footballs. You seeing 300-pound guys over here fair catching, working on it every day, because you want to make sure you're prepared. And just like in life, the guys who prepare are the guys who are successful. You look at Bill Belichick and his team, they're always successful because of what? They always are prepared. You look at Coach Tomlin and his teams, they're successful. Why? Because they prepare. So for me, I don't feel any sympathy for the young man for the Packers that dropped the ball because he wasn't prepared. I don't want to hear that.
How do we know he wasn't prepared? What if he was prepared and just wasn't ready in that critical moment?
So if you weren't ready in that critical moment, then you weren't prepared. preparation helps you in those critical moments. That's why you prepare for those moments. So that way you can perform and execute. It's no different than, so if Russell Wilson if Ben throws a pick, fourth quarter, 2 minutes left. Hey man, he just wasn't prepared. You know, is that what we're going with, or was he prepared? And hey man, he just didn't execute. Which one is it for you?
Dude, I don't. This isn't. No,
I'm just are you sure? Man. I'm just asking. Because you're saying that this guy. Oh, you're saying that maybe he was prepared. He just didn't execute. You know.
What I mean is it doesn't matter.
Why not?
Because he just didn't execute. I mean, that's the end of the day.
You got to prepare.
No matter how much you are prepared or not, you didn't execute when the time was there.
Yeah, and a lot of times you don't execute because of a lack of preparation. If you get on the mic and you're not prepared, no matter how much you try to go to this well of, all right, I'm gonna do something. I really want to do this. I gotta do this. If you haven't prepared, it doesn't matter because you have nothing to pull from. You can want it as bad as you. I want this so bad. That's my moment.
And that's what I mean with the Packers guy.
He wasn't prepared. That's what I'm telling you.
He could have been prepared and just didn't execute. Because I could come on the mic and I had before. I'm prepared and then I just mess up. You know.
Okay.
And that just happens.
Okay.
And I want to take it out of that person's hands to mess up. I'd rather it be.
So you rather Ben mess up than that guy mess up.
I would. Yes.
So now you just pick and choose who you want to mess up then.
I would rather it be Russell Wilson, Big Ben.
At the end of the day, does it really matter when the result is going to be the same?
It's hard, dude. Like if you're talking to Bears fans, Vikings fans, these dudes that have these kickers that come out and miss these chip shot kicks to win the game, and they have really good teams.
In a kicker.
Dude, that's tough to. It just is what it is. I'm not saying one way is right or wrong, but it's definitely more frustrating than if Ben came out and threw a pick at the end.
So you feel that the Bears fans in particular were more frustrated with the kicker missing kicks than Mitch Trubisky throwing interceptions in that game and was absolutely trash in that playoff game? Because I know the game versus the Eagles.
Yeah,
where the Bears defense were actually absolutely balling out, carrying that team. You don't think they were just as mad with Mitch Trubisky and that piss poor performance he had as they were with that kicker?
It's tough, man. It's tough when you have the game won just with that kick, because there's a flow of the game. You could look back and say the whole game,
this and this excuses, man.
This and this could have happened, but when it was time to win the game at the end, it just didn't happen.
So where was Trubisky throughout the whole game, where he had numerous opportunities, where that defense was absolutely balling out? Where was Trubisky?
I'm not saying
he was sucking.
He wasn't at fault, but
no, he's more at fault than that kicker. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. You're an apologist for quarterbacks.
It's tough.
I don't want to hear that, man.
No, it's because I'm critical of quarterbacks.
No, you're not. No, you're not, man.
You can say the same situation with Bridgewater and the Vikings versus Seahawks.
Okay.
Bridgewater didn't really do anything. I think the score was like 9-9 or something like that.
You talking about the super cold ice, where they was getting frostbite out there. Okay.
But, the same thing. There's a flow of the game and things happen and, mistakes are made. But then when it comes down to the end of the game, fourth quarter.
The kicker can't make a mistake. That's
what you paid the kicker to do.
The kicker can't have a mistake, though.
He can.
No. Not according to you, man. He had one mistake. You ready to just throw him off the team.
It goes back to all the way at the beginning at why I really like this rule. It's taking the kicker or, the third, fourth special team, like the third or fourth stringer on the special teams kind of out of it, and you want the best guys to be doing it for you.
Well, you remember in New Orleans, because you can't just always say it's third or fourth special teamer, because in New Orleans, when they were playing, the Saints were playing the Falcons, I want to say, they had 2 onside kicks back to back they recovered, and they had Alvin Kamara out there had a chance to recover it, and then the next time it was Michael Thomas. So those are their best players, correct? And the ball did go directly to them on the onside kick, correct?
Well, you could do that too.
I'm just simply saying, don't try to make it as if, oh man, well this third guy who's out there. No. Because I know in Pittsburgh we would have AB out there. You've seen Hines Ward out there. You've seen Santonio Holmes out there. You're not putting bums out there if you're smart. So once again, it goes back to what? The coaching. So that's why for me, I'm not about to feel bad about that guy in Green Bay or Mike McCarthy, who was the head coach out there, whoever the special teams coach was out there. If you want to get it done the right way, do it. Put better people out there. It's simple, man. You don't want to complain about kicking? You think the Ravens complain about their kicker? No, because they've invested in that position. They have one of the best in the game.
They did in the Patriots game back in 2012-13, and they missed the Super Bowl because of that. They definitely did.
And then what did they do after that? What did they go do after that?
I don't remember who. I guess Tucker was the kicker. I don't remember.
Okay. And now with Tucker, have they ever complained about the kicking ever since? Not a chance.
He did miss the one in the Saints game.
Okay, and that was one, and he's been the most accurate kicker and has kicked from the most distance in the NFL.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's good for them, dude.
That's all I'm saying, man.
It's good for them.
You don't want these issues? Hire better people. It's that simple, man. Because if you're Baltimore, you probably pissed because you feel you have a weapon as a special teams person, as your kicker. Yeah, and he definitely is a weapon because I can tell you for a fact
on onsides.
On onsides and field goals, we know for a fact, man, when we would play the Ravens, if they cross midfield, they're already in scoring range. So it puts a total different level of pressure on you to perform from a defensive standpoint, trying to stop them earlier because you know it's guaranteed points once they cross midfield. That's a weapon. A lot of teams, they got to get to the 35-yard line to get in field goal range. That's not the case with Tucker. If you want that, you go find that. You go spend money on that. Why you think Vinatieri for so long in New England? It was a weapon. Hey, we're going to pay you. You think they franchise tagging kickers for no reason? That's New England was the only team franchise tagging kickers, man. Because they know if I spend money on this guy, he can go out here and ball out. That's guaranteed points as soon as I cross midfield.
No matter how good a kicker is, though, dude, you could always miss. And I mean, Boswell's a perfect.
No matter how good a quarterback is, you always throw an interception.
And I'd rather go down with that. It's as simple as that than a kicker.
Well, I guess to each his own.
Yeah, I'd rather go down with the guy who's playing most of the game and
has stinking it up the whole game, and then you know
the leader of the team. Yeah. That's what I'd rather.
Now he's the leader of the team. Jeez, you just give him all the accolades now. Okay, all right, cool.
Yeah. Quarterback's got to be somewhat of a leader.
No, not necessarily, but it's all good.
Not necessarily, somewhat.
Not necessarily, but okay.
Somewhat.
Not necessarily, but okay.
Somewhat.
Not necessarily, but okay.
Why not?
Because that's not just because you're the quarterback doesn't make you the leader of a team. The leaders of the team are the guys who are just leaders in general. They know how to communicate. They know how to lead. They know how to show people.
You're leading an offense, though. I mean, that's what I mean. Somewhat. Okay. There's just a basis to it man. Of leading.
Hey, whatever you say, bro.
not saying you have to be the greatest.
Hey, whatever you say, man. You got it, bro.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
I'd rather go down with quarterback, running back, receiver dropping it or whatever than a kicker missing. It's as simple as that for me.
To each his own. That's all I'm saying, man. So it's all
you
good.
Bring up. I like your points that you brought up. You brought up something that actually I probably wouldn't have heard from most people.
What?
Bringing up the opposite point. I've never really considered the coaching, and then in general how I don't know. There's all these different aspects to it that behind the scenes that everyone's got to take responsibility. So something.
Man, that makes too much sense, man. Bump all that. We need to just point fingers. You know what I mean? Is this point fingers kickers fault, man? Just fire all special teams players. But
it was that dude's fault. He dropped it.
Boom, bro.
The dude dropped it,
and he wasn't even a kicker, huh? He plays tight end.
At the end of the day, I don't know what position
he definitely plays tight. I remember him. I don't remember his name.
It could have been anything.
No, he played tight end. For a fact, he played tight end because they talked about how he was the number. He was either the second string or third string tight end because he played on offense too. And yeah, he dropped twice. I thought he dropped 2 in that game.
I don't remember.
I want to say he dropped 2 in that game, man, and that was like the big deal about it.
Yeah.
And then I definitely remember them saying that they cut him like right after that though.
There's always got to be a scapegoat.
Come on, man. Hey, that's America, right? Hey. Whoever we could blame it on. Where's the low hanging fruit? All right, that guy. Yeah, not the 4 quarters that Aaron Rodgers had to perform. Not the 4 quarters that the defense had to perform. Not the 4 quarters that the offense as a whole had to perform. No. That was the reason why they lost right there. That was. It's cool, bro.
It isn't the reason, but there is. It is cool, critical moments.
I just don't understand. So if that's the case, why do we watch a game for 3.5 hours? Why don't we just play the last 2 minutes of the game and then we'll figure out the winner that way? Why can't it just be that?
It's a story, man.
No, it's not. Why can't we just do that? If that's gonna count so much, cut the fluff out and let's get right to the meat and potatoes.
Nah, it's enjoyable. It's just enjoyable to watch. It is. Okay, how is it not?
It's enjoyable.
It's a football game.
Because for you, man, and it's not just you. I heard from most people. Something happened in the first quarter. Oh no, it don't matter. Let this happen in the last 30 seconds of the game. Oh, that's the reason. That's why the game lost. You suck.
I don't know, dude.
Nah, don't say you don't know because we know for a fact.
No,
that is no.
What I mean is,
yes.
Russell Wilson in the third and fourth quarter. There's something to that. There's something really valuable to that.
Why don't you just do it in the first 2 minutes of the game? Make it a 2-minute game, and then everybody can have all you need to have right there.
It's way better doing that than the opposite. I'll tell you that for a fact.
Nah, man. Yo. Let's just cut the rest of the game off.
Dude,
just 2 minutes.
There's something to being able to play big in critical moments. Third and fourth quarter.
Technically, if you made it a 2-minute game, wouldn't that whole 2 minutes be a critical game? That'd be a whole critical moment, right?
What do you mean?
I'm just saying, like, you're saying there's something about playing big in those critical moments.
I'm not talking about just 2 minutes, but just the ability to be coming back and playing it big in the third and fourth quarters. Whereas other quarterbacks, other players, you'll get a hot start, a lucky start, and then just fade away when the pressure starts mounting. So I'd rather have the opposite.
You rather have a slow start at it?
No, I'd rather the pressure's there and you step up. That's as simple as that. Okay. I mean, mistakes are going to be made either way, but at least he's not afraid and he's going to play big in those critical moments. That's all.
Okay.
That's all, man.
I ain't to each his own, man. I ain't tripping.
Super Bowl 43, critical moment.
Who was the MVP of that? I don't even remember.
Come on, dude.
No, I'm serious. Who was it? Which one is 43?
Stop, man.
Which one was that?
You know Ben should have won that. I just had this conversation with one of my buddies up at my camp. He was talking about this too. He agreed with me.
Yeah.
Actually, he brought it up first. I'm like,
okay.
I've been saying that, dude.
Okay. All right.
You must not be listening to the podcast, but I've been saying that.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough.
We want to transition.
Yeah, man. So this your boy actually. So I'll let you go do this one, man.
This is your topic, though. This is your topic.
Yeah.
Rumors are circulating about 84, AB 84, Antonio Brown joining the Seattle Seahawks. Now, this happened 2 days ago or something?
Yeah.
And there hasn't really been much fire to it afterwards. There hasn't been too much run with this since. And I was reading some stuff. John Clayton, I think he covers out there, Seattle, like northwest area. He was saying it's a possibility.
Correct.
Russell Wilson would love to have him, which I don't blame him.
Because they say Russell has been the one advocating for it. Even last season, he was
in the middle of the season, I remember him saying something like that.
Excuse me.
But if it does happen, it's not going to be something that happens for another month or two, probably. There's just really no rhyme or reason to it right now. And just how the Seahawks work, they're going to take their time with things. No. Now, how did you see? Because there's a couple ways we could dissect this.
Let's do it, man.
Did you just want to start your initial
just do
reaction?
it, man. Come on, man. Why you tripping? Let's just do it, man. Let's do this.
Is okay. AB to Seattle, good fit. Is that?
What you think, man?
Oh yeah,
from you, man. Talk.
It's clear, dude. It's clear. Why wouldn't it be a good fit? You got Russell Wilson, the top. Yeah, we'll say top 5 just to be safe here. I'm not getting into my quarterback rankings. I'm not getting into my quarterback.
Did you just say
top 4? Top 4 guaranteed.
Wow.
Guaranteed top 4. I'm not getting into my rankings right now.
What?
I'm just not getting into my rankings.
Wow.
So Wilson's a beast. Seahawks organization is pretty awesome. From the outside looking in, there's really not too much to complain about there. They do things the right way, it seems. They're always winning ever since Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson have been at the helm at their positions. So all check marks there. And then just in general, for the Seahawks wanting AB, why wouldn't you? He's an elite talent. It seems like everything's been settled down from last year with AB, and he's probably hit his low point and is like, you know what, I gotta get things straight. I love football, so you'll get a motivated AB. I think it makes sense for all sides. So yeah, I wish he'd come to the Steelers, but hey. What?
Like you threw that at the end. I wish he'd come to the Steelers.
It's not happening though. And I remember talking about that. Man, how long ago was it? A couple months ago.
Return.
Yeah, and I think I said I was finally over it, but it seems like I'm not. I just got to admit that.
Still, it still has a spot in your heart, man. It's cool.
I would love for him to be back. It's just not happening, though. I'm not going to get my hopes up.
You sure? You might as well, man.
I promise.
You just said that he hasn't done anything since last year, or he's quiet down since last year. I mean, you realize this was this year where things were transpiring, like 2 months ago.
Well, it seems like this whole COVID situation,
like, what?
It's
last
only
year?
been 2 months, but it seems like it's been a year, so time is off for everyone.
Yeah. But for me, man, first off, I am happy that he has had a very low profile 2 months. Excuse me. I think that's a huge step in the right direction, especially how everything was going leading up to this. We didn't know how this thing was going to come to a head or how it was going to end. So that's definitely good to see that. I hope he continues. I hope he has officially turned a new leaf in that regard, because, you know, anytime you see a person like that, a person that, you know, you share the locker room with, you build a brotherhood with, going down that path, scary at times. I mean, we've talked about this before off the mic too. You want to see him genuinely do good regardless of sports. So that's that. But in terms of him potentially going out there to Seattle, I think, like with you, man, it's a great opportunity in terms of Russell Wilson. They already have a rapport. They have worked out together in the off seasons before, and they have a liking to each other. And anybody who's played with Russell Wilson will tell you, I've obviously have friends that have played with him. Extremely hard worker, is going to do all the extra stuff, going to spend the time to make sure that, you know, any questions that you have or anything that you need accomplished, he's going to make sure that you're in the best position to do that. Ultimate competitor. And He just checks all the boxes. And for AB, it's another high profile quarterback. You know what I mean? You're going from Ben, obviously Derek Carr. I don't think he ever viewed him in that vein.
That's just because he's not. He's just not that good.
Well, no, I'm not about to disagree with that. But remember how AB was trying to sell us on this? You know what I mean? Like, oh, him and Derek Carr, AD, or whatever, ACAD, whatever it was. I'm like, or DCAB. I can't even remember what it was. I was like, this is I'm not buying it.
Was it ABDC?
I think that might have been it. Yeah,
I've never heard it, but that would make sense.
It was something he was trying to sell us. I'm like, I'm not buying it, man. I know Carr. Stop it. But obviously, you know, he was very happy about linking up with Tom Brady, another hard worker, another guy who, you know, first in, last out type of guy, checks all those boxes. So you can see why he would be drawn to Russell Wilson, and obviously why Russell would be drawn to AB. Russell hasn't played with the receiver of AB's caliber. I mean, I think Russell's best receiver is probably Doug Baldwin, maybe.
Doug Baldwin, Lockett, or
he had Percy Irvin for a little bit. Metcalf now he's still young. Graham, but Graham wasn't.
Yeah, you'd say. I think you'd say Baldwin. Long term, you'd say Baldwin. But Lockett's had good 2 last years, and if he keeps it up, you could maybe say Lockett over Baldwin. None of
those guys have been in the same vein or even the same conversation of an AB. So for Russell, you would be extremely excited about that. Obviously, you talk about the character guys on that team. You know, that's a team that they make sure that their guys are being more than athletes. I mean, think about when the whole protest thing started with Kaepernick. That locker room in Seattle, those were some of the main guys leading the conversations, leading the charge in terms of speaking up for some of the social injustice issues that were taking place in America and that still are taking place in America. So in that department, I feel like it could be a really good fit for AB to get him around some cooler heads, some guys that are on the right path. We talk about the Seahawks locker room, and we know it's other locker rooms in the NFL that aren't like that do have dysfunction as an organization, as a team, and I don't think that would be the best situation for AB in that regard. But if we're just talking from an X's and O's standpoint, I think it would be a great opportunity for him. But I do know obviously that you're gonna have some type of suspension in there too. So how does all that play out? When you're signing him, how much money would be involved? How long would the suspension be? How does he handle everything with that?
I think there's mutual interest because we've talked about it before with reports that are getting leaked and rumors that where there's smoke, there's fire. So do you think there is some legs to this?
Well, I think there, and I also think Baltimore. Okay. That's a legit situation. I mean, obviously his relationship with his cousin Hollywood Brown, Marquise Brown, but then also him and Lamar Jackson. That's another group that they work out together.
He works all the hard too, man.
Absolutely. So, and Harbaugh and Ozzie, when they were asked about it, they just simply said, "Right now, probably not." But they didn't close the door, like how when Bruce Arians was like, "It's not happening." Period. That wasn't how Baltimore spoke on it. They spoke on it just as in right now. Probably not, but like you said, it's nothing going on right now, so there is no urgency. But Baltimore and Seattle are definitely two teams that you really could be, okay, this legit could happen.
So I made a list of teams.
Here we go.
Because there's some that are on this list, and you're like, yeah, this would make sense, but like you said with the whole Bruce Arians thing, that, oh man, do I have it written down? I do. Here it is. I initially wrote, I said, I think there's only 5 or 6 teams that, would make sense for AB because it's got to be organization. It's got to be a good coach, good quarterback, all those type of things. Yeah. But how many did I end up listing? I ended up listing 7. And then I wrote no's and yeses. So Bucks are obviously a team, but no. Already shut down. Bruce Arians said no. Brady really wants them. And I'm sure that whole connection would be magical, but it's just not happening. Right. Saints, no, just because of what happened at the end of last season. But that would make sense. Sean Payton, Drew Brees, right. Good organization, good team. So that's a no. Seahawks, yes.
Don't bring your crew to the workout. Okay.
Seahawks, yes. Ravens, yes. I said the same thing with them. And then I have 2 iffies.
Steelers?
I would have them on the list, but it would just say no, though. So I didn't even want to put them on. Because it would make sense, but we know what's happening.
The return.
I wish. So I have 2 teams. I have iffy, probably leaning no, though. Packers and Eagles. I don't think LaFleur is the coach for the Packers. And Eagles, dude, I just don't even know with them. I think it could make sense, but they just don't seem like the offense and the style that would work. Carson Wentz might get hurt. Who knows? I think
that's a different style offense. Even AB in Seattle, I think, is different than what he's accustomed to.
No, well, even with the Ravens, too.
Yeah, it would be drastically different than what because he's used to high volume targets, pass happy offense. Because they don't do that.
We were talking off the mic that it would be such a different situation for him in Seattle and with the Ravens, where, man, a good year for him might be 1,200 yards and getting 80, 90 catches.
Correct.
Whereas he had it made in Pittsburgh.
Oh, he was 100-plus catches, 1,400 yards.
Well, and I even thought that, too. I think he had it made with New England, too. Like, those were probably the best
they were going to
organizations.
Feed him, like force feed him,
for him. Obviously, different. Steelers a little more lax on the off-the-field stuff.
Correct.
And the Patriots would be way more stricter, being on time and practice and that type of regimen. Yeah. But I think AB was a little bit more connected to Brady with, his work ethic, all that type of stuff. But then on the field, Big Ben and AB, you can't even touch that. So the
Wi-Fi was perfect.
That's the sad part. Looking back, he had two of the best opportunities he could ask for, and blew them both.
Yeah.
But I have a last team though. I have my third team. And it's the Chiefs, man.
Chiefs.
Andy Reid, good organization. Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
And it goes back to the whole Seahawks and Ravens thing. How many targets is he going to get? They like to sling it, though, so I'm sure he'll get enough.
Yeah.
And, dude, it just makes complete sense in my opinion. Just from the standpoint of Seahawks, Ravens, good organization, good coach, good quarterback. I think they could take on AB and handle any type of controversy with it. They just won a Super Bowl. They're playing with house money already right now. So those are my three teams. It would be unfortunate if the Chiefs happen. It would be really unfortunate.
Seattle, Baltimore.
Not the Chiefs.
I don't see that happening at all, bro.
I'm not saying I see it happen. I think it would work.
Could it work just in general? Technically, you could put AB on any team and it would work.
No, that's what I mean. You got to consider all these factors.
The Chiefs not going to want to deal with that situation, though. Like, regardless of...
They already got a good thing going.
Yeah, you don't want to mess that.
Like, you're in the middle of it.
Because it's too much of a chance.
You're in the groove.
Like, because even right now, right, we're hoping that this is a new leaf for AB, but we really don't know what he's going to be like in the locker room again. What is he going to be like when he starts getting money again? What is he going to be like when adversity hits? What is he going to be like if the quarterback isn't playing up to his standard?
Mahomes?
I'm just saying
to his standard.
To his standard. Like, we don't
he's
know
not getting
that.
the touches.
Like, we don't know how he's going to react. So for some of these organizations that already feel like, we don't need to invite anything that could potentially throw off that chemistry for, especially if we're being successful already.
You don't think the Ravens then, though? If you're going to say no to the Chiefs, why not the Ravens?
No, this is why, though, with the Ravens, they have a history of bringing in people who have had checkered past, who have had issues. Marcus Peters is a prime example. They bring in guys who have dealt with some stuff, but they feel that from an organizational standpoint, they have the structure in place. They have the guys in the locker room already in place to handle these situations, to make sure that, hey, we can overcome this. We'll be fine with the situation. We're going to handle it like that. Not every organization, number one, has that in place, and every organization wants to deal with that.
Andy Reid, Mike Vick, though, I mean... I get what you're saying. They're kind of in a groove right now. They just won the Super Bowl, but I mean, you could take that either way. You could say they're playing with house money, bring in AB, but at the same time, it's like, all right,
are you really playing with house money though? Because technically, the goal every year is to win as much as you can win, right?
That's what I mean. If you bring
how's that house money technically, right? Because you want to win another one. And then
but once you win one, you got some leeway with fans. You got about a 4 or 5 year leeway.
All right,
dude. I'm just telling you, with Steeler fans, we probably ever since that second Super Bowl, there was a 4 or 5 year thing. We're good. Okay. And then there was maybe 2013, 14. It's like, all right, we got to get back.
Okay,
we got to get back.
Okay, I'm learning. I'm new to this.
You get some leeway. You the Eagles, man. They're still high off that Super Bowl.
Serious? Because I hear Eagles fans trashing these guys all the time.
I know that's a natural.
What, am I missing out on something?
Nah, dude, that's a natural thing. But in the back of your mind, like we got it. We're good.
So you verbally talk bad about them, but internally you're like, all right, they got to pass.
You want to win. You want to win. Trust me. Okay, that doesn't go away. You always want to win.
But it doesn't matter as much if you don't win.
it does. But it's just in the same time, you won one for us. We're good. We're still grateful for that.
I'm learning.
It's just more. It's an internal clock. It's something that really can't be explained. It's like we need another Super Bowl. It's this clock that's going on in your chest. All right, we won the last one in 2008. The clock's ticking. We get to the one back in 10. All right, we'll be back again. It doesn't happen. It's like, all right, damn it, we got to get back. Come on, let's go.
All right,
let's get this thing cooking.
See, I was under the impression that fans want one every year.
We do. Trust me.
Okay. But it's not as bad once you get one.
No, it is as bad. It's weird, dude.
You throwing me off, man.
It is.
All right, okay.
Trust me.
Okay.
It is. But there's also, I think this clock thing. It's more of how do I explain it? It's the heart. It's the gratitude aspect of it. It's not always shown. Obviously we were just talking about Eagles fans getting on Philly. And Steeler fans were always going to get on our team and players and stuff like that. That's tough love, but deep down, it's like it. Man, there's still gratitude there. But we're at the point we got to get back. Like we really got to get back. The clock is like over the limit right now.
I could dig it, man. I could dig it. But yeah, man, that was fun, man. I'm with it. I appreciate the education right there. I learned a lot from you, man. You're teaching me. I'm gonna learn this fandom. I promise. All right. I like that.
I'm speaking for me at least. But I think people that are listening know what I'm saying.
They rock
the
with
other
you, man.
fans. They know what I'm saying.
You got your finger on the pulse, man. You know what it is.
Apparently I don't though. You're telling me about some news that's happening. I'm like, nah.
Oh no. That's different. I got that part of it, but the fan part of it, you got that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You authentic. You real.
Anything else on AB?
Nah, man. I just hope he stays on this good path, man. Just keep going the right way, and we good, baby.
No Chiefs though. That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't really see that one, man.
I don't want to see it. That would be lethal. Yeah. But I could see it working out, definitely.
Yeah. Either way, man, if he's back and he's good, I'm happy for him. That's
I want to see him play again.
Be good, man. I just want to see him be good.
I want to see him play. Yeah, I want to be good too. But dude, I'm saying I want him to play, and even if it's not for the Steelers, he's just
that is growth for you, man. That's like your breakup is you feel it, but you're still happy. Like, all right, I don't want you to be single forever. You can get a boyfriend now. I don't want you to get a wife. I don't want you to get married though. You can't get no husband. Like going to the Chiefs, like finding a husband. He gonna win a Super Bowl. You don't want that. You can't get married. You can date though. All right, you can date. I'm cool with that. That's where you at right now. That's cool, man. It's a process.
The Seahawks and Ravens got as good of a chance.
Nah. It don't hit the same. They don't hit the same.
You don't think?
That's like, that's a good guy. All right, you go talk to him. You know what I'm saying? It's cool. I ain't tripping. They ain't gonna wife you though.
You just think some of the moments with the Chiefs could be similar to the Steelers.
Yeah, and then you like, that's like you gonna put a ring on it, and I'm gonna feel some type of way about that. Yeah, it's cool, man. We all go through it.
Whatever's good for him, man. Whatever's good for him.
Yeah.
I would like to see him back, though, for sure.
No doubt, man.
That would be lethal. Him and Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce.
Problem.
Hardman, Watkins. Man, dude. Yeah. I don't want to see that.
Yeah, that'd be nasty, man. That'd be nasty. But yeah, man, that was fun. Also, dope interview, man, we just had, man, with the Anthony McFarland Jr., man.
A lot of good reviews
pick.
right now.
Yeah, man. Awesome cat. And I got to go on the record, man. I don't know how this report came out about him having character issues, bro. We said it during the conversation. We said it after the conversation. I've been just puzzled. I don't know where that came from because, yeah. You listen to this interview, man, and there is zero indication of anything like that, man. This dude's a stand-up kid, super humble, man, and I think he's going to do something special here in Pittsburgh, man. So I'm excited about him, man. I hope y'all enjoy the interview. In fact, I know y'all will. For the people that haven't checked it out, for the people that have checked it out, they already know what it is. It's dope. So, yeah, man. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Appreciate all the people for watching. And until next time.
Peace.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Have a very, very special guest coming up on the podcast. This young man, in high school was an Under Armour All-American, where he then went on to commit at the University of Maryland, and he set the record for single-season rushing yards by a freshman at the University of Maryland, where he also became an All-Big Ten selection, and he was in this past draft was the 4th-round pick of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, without further ado, Mr. Anthony McFarland Jr. Anthony, what's up, baby? How are you, man?
What's going on, man? Just maintaining. How's everything going?
I like it, man. Things good up here, making the best of the situation.
Yep.
So just talk a little bit, man. Just how have you been handling this virtual offseason with the Steelers, and what steps have you been taking to stay ready for when the season does start?
This process, man, it's been a little different. Something that, not just me, but a lot of athletes. Really never been through before with the virtual FaceTime meetings and everything. But still try to not make no excuses about it. I treat it like anything else, man. I understand it's a process, and this is what we have to do right now, and it's not in not in none of us control. So we gotta do what we gotta do. So that's been my whole mindset towards this whole process. Just focused, locked in, dial in on all the plays that I'm learning and rookie mini camp and going out and working out. As soon as I hang up with those guys and just work on my craft. So I just been on a routine every single day, man. Just trying to stay consistent. You know what I'm saying? Get up. For me, it's every day in the morning. Like I said, as soon as I'm done, I hang up. I'm ready to go get some work in and come back home and do it all over again.
I like that. Now, you're a guy that's very familiar with being in the meeting rooms, obviously playing at the University of Maryland. So just talk about the challenges that are presented by you not being able to have that, interperson contact, being around the coaches directly, being able to have them on the practice fields and stuff like that with you.
It's definitely tough. Like I said, it's still tough. Even though you got to get through it, like not being able to see the coaches and the coaches being able, not being able to get their hands on you and meet you as a person. More so meet you as a person through FaceTime calls and everything. It just kind of sets everything back. So, really, that's the main thing I've been waiting for, man. I just can't wait to get this process over with and actually meet not even just the coaches, the players, and just everybody face to face, man. Get a chance to really know about each other. So I'm looking forward to that.
I like it.
Now, we were doing some research online, and this goes back to your decision to go to Maryland. You were considering Alabama, Georgia, Penn State, Miami, some other big schools. Why did you decide upon Maryland?
So I was silently committed to Miami.
U.
For the U. I was definitely going there, man. I already knew my mind was already made up. As soon as Mark Richt had left Georgia, because I was a big Georgia fan, and so when Mark Richt left, I just decided if he went to when he was coaching at the U, I wanted to be a part of that. But I don't know, towards the end of the process, I just started thinking about just staying home where my family doesn't really have to move so much to come see me play and fly. I didn't want that to be a problem, even though I don't think it was going to be a problem for them. I was still thinking of them, man, just not having to always get on the plane to come see me play or travel always to the away games. And I just really wanted to be home. I was real big on, especially if it was a home game. I always understood that my parents didn't make away games, but home games for sure. I always wanted to make sure that my family and whoever I wanted to see watching me play, that they was able to be there. And that was something that stood out to me at the end of my recruitment. And I'm just like, what better place to do it, for you to just be home in my backyard. So I took that approach too. I'm just thinking about, my family.
I like that, man.
When did you switch? Like when, how close was it, to the end of that process? Was there like a timeline for that?
A lot of you not, man. It was the day before signing day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like, I believe so. It was like a day before not signing day. Let me take that back. Before I had a commitment announcement I was going to make. And I had already, it was with Bleacher Report, and I had already made a Miami one with the Bleacher Report guys already. And then I had a meeting with the Maryland coaches, and they just put everything in perspective for me. And I told you I was thinking about my family. And I just called and it was like, man, I don't think I want to go to Miami no more. It was crazy, man. That's something I won't never forget. Like, it was just real close up to that day, and they end up having a Bleacher Report people end up having to come back and making a whole Maryland edit instead of Miami. So yeah, man, it was crazy. It was crazy process, man. But like I said, I feel like I was where I was supposed to be. I feel like I stayed home for a lot of reasons, not just football. I met a lot of good friends off the field. that I'll be with and I'll talk to the rest of my life. So, once you leave college and understand that it's bigger than the game, you're really comfortable with the decisions that you made. That's why I really don't live life and no regrets. Because at the end of the day, you're gonna live, you learn. So.
I like that, man. I could definitely respect you too, man, in terms of making that decision to essentially decommit and go ahead and decide to go to the University of Maryland. That's never easy to do. Now, speaking a little bit more about you being from Maryland and stuff like that, we saw online where you were teammates with Chase Young at DeMatha Catholic High School. So just talk about what that experience was like for you. And did you know when you were playing with him in high school that he was going to, grow into be who he is now in terms of this superstar, number 2 overall draft pick and stuff?
Yeah, me and Chase, we play on the same high school team. So it's like for me, man, everything that he's doing now, that he's been doing, like he been doing it since day one, since I seen him, man. Like it just the way people see him play at Ohio State. I didn't already seen that at DeMatha, so it was just like when people started to hear about him in college, like, man, who is this guy, man? This and that. It was just like I wasn't so surprised because I seen him in practice, I seen him in the game. That's really who he is as a football player. So it's just crazy to see how much better he has gotten, like over the years from high school, from where he came in to where he's at now, man. And it's just like it's crazy because he always had that same mentality that he has now, and that's the thing about the world. Some people, they have to, go through things and build on that mindset. And it's just some guys who just got it. You know what I'm saying? And Chase Young is one of them.
I like that. And just out of curiosity, were there any other guys from your team in DeMatha that got drafted as well?
From that team, I think no. I believe it was just me and Chase and Team Ellis. Yep.
Okay, I like that.
Now, speaking of DeMatha, everything that I've seen online and even on your feed has high praises for the school, just it being a great football program, but also a school in general. Can you speak on that? Like, what about that school? Was it a teacher, maybe coach, some type of moment that helped you become the man you are today, like looking back on everything?
That's crazy you say that, man, because DeMatha is a powerhouse, man, and people just think it's a powerhouse, for just sports, football, and a basketball school, and it's bigger than that, man. Just the connections and the people who have went through there, and the stuff that you learn, and just the curriculum. It prepares you for life. And speaking for me, that was my first time being in Catholic school and private school. I came from a public school, a rough public school, rough environment. So me making the decision to go to DeMatha and get away from that environment and see a new, different side of life was important to me because I knew that was the only way that I was gonna make it out here. So I was nervous at first coming into DeMatha because I didn't know what I was getting in. It was an all boys school, but once I stepped in there and seeing how it was just a tight brotherhood and how you never lose those connections and you really learn what it takes to be a gentleman and scholar, as DeMatha, that's the little DeMatha saying. They really mean it and they really stand on that, man. It prepares you for the rest of your life. Like I said, I done been through it all at DeMatha, a lot of adversity. And one thing that I learned from being there at a young age is like, man, you going for the rest of your life as a human being, you're going to go through a lot of things in life. But ultimately, man, it's just all about how you respond to it, That's really what life all about, is like how do you respond to things. And that's what I'm starting to get more and more as I'm out here in life. But all that, man, I learned that from DeMatha and just all the teachers. And I had one tutor, name is Phelan, and I think about her every day because when I first came in, it was a lot that I didn't know. It was just like I was catching up, and she stood by my side, through them 4 years, man, through it all, helping me, with my work after practice, helping me with my work before practice, having to text my coach and saying I'm gonna be a little late, really gotta study for this test. And she really made me realize how important school was, and and I really appreciate her for that, And one day I want the whole world to know about her because I feel like without her, I would never got through the math without her helping, her guidance. And like I said, man, everybody different. Some people that don't need guidance, who can handle things on their own, and it's just some people out here, man, who need it, man, who need to get shown the way. So
I like that, man.
That's what the math did for me.
That's definitely dope. And I was reading too that you were splitting carries while you were running back there. And I mean, you were obviously awesome in high school. If you were to go to another school, you could have been averaging 2,500 yards a year or something, being the main guy. Was that, you spoke on adversity? Was that something that was like adversity to you? And how did you handle that?
That wasn't something that was really adversity to me, because I always been a good teammate when it comes to things like that, man. Like, ever since I've been playing football, I always knew that, it's never going to be a one-man show with football. You know what I'm saying? It's not basketball where one man can take over the whole game. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I understand that about football, man. Like, it really takes all 11, like literally all 11. And if one man doesn't do their job, then the whole play is blown up. And that's what people don't understand about football, the outsiders. That's what the game is all about. So I always understood that at a young age, man. And I just love something, I don't know, since I was young, I just love having, just another guy or guys and that played at the same position as me, that's good enough or even better than me, man. I feel like that helps me become a better player, and that also makes me not want to be not selfish at all. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, I feel like people should like dudes, athletes should like guys, man, that's that plays their position, and you got to split curve, because that helps both of you guys, man. That helps your body, and that just helps you win ball games. That's how I look at it, man. It's not gonna be one man that's gonna help you in the football game. It's gonna take some guys, and that's how I always looked at it. Even at Maryland, I split curves with my best friend Jerron Lee. Like that's what we wanted. We wanted that because we knew that's what it would help each other, especially the position we play is wear and tear, and I understand that.
Absolutely, man. And I think that's showing a lot of wisdom for you, man, because in this culture, in this day and age, I feel like it's always the opposite. People want to be the guy. They don't want to split. They want to be the alpha. But to hear the humility that you have, knowing that, yeah, you can excel by yourself, but you can go so much further with people around you helping you out, man. I think that's dope that you got that mindset, man.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, I always learn, like, when you don't, feed into wanting to be the guy and, wanting to be the man in the show, like good things come to you, good things happen, so I always was taught that, and that's why I always, stay humble through it all, never get big headed, never get too high, never get too low, man, and just try to play this game like it's supposed to be played.
I like that, man. I like that. Now, this year, obviously the NFL draft, it was unprecedented in terms of being fully online, virtual. So just talk about what was that like for you, man, because this is a big moment in every player's life when they get drafted, man. So just talk a little bit about that experience, man.
It was definitely a crazy experience, man. Just to talk about how nervous I was, I know a lot of guys, man, they always got they hats and everything ready for all the teams, because you never know who's gonna pick you. Man, I didn't have anything. I was like, man, yep. I'm down. People said, man, that's different, but I was just like, man, I wasn't really thinking of that. I was just like, man, I just want to hear my name get called. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to hear my name get called. I wasn't thinking about putting on no hat. Like, I was just thinking the bigger picture, man. I just want to hear my name get called and get ready to work. Because regardless if I put on a hat or not, right now I still ain't made the team yet. You know what I'm saying? So true. It's like at the end of the day, that's how I look at it, man. I just that whole time, I just wanted to just hear a name get called. Whatever team, call me,
now,
it's on.
Now, did you have an idea that it would potentially be the Pittsburgh Steelers?
No, I didn't know it. I actually really didn't know at all. I never seen it coming. Talking to my agents and everything, getting feedback from teams, and I didn't expect it at all. But as soon as I seen my name on the board and I just looked, I'm like, wow, I'm really a Pittsburgh Steeler. Like, that's just huge. That's huge when I thought about it. So, man, I definitely feel like, man, everything happens for a reason. I feel like God put me through it all, and I definitely feel like it's a reason that I got picked up in the 4th round, and I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers.
I like it, man. And now, obviously, when you were at the University of Maryland, Coach Tomlin's son was playing there with you. So prior to the draft, did you have any type of relationship with Coach T?
Not at all. See, we talked at the combine, a formal meeting, but we never, he came up there, but he was always, just being a dad up there. He was never up there being a coach. He was always up there being a dad, and that's something I always respected about him. Man, he always came up there being a dad, being there for his son. So, no, I really never, even in college, never really had no interaction with him. I think it was one time I had just walked past him in the hallway up there and shook his hand and kept it moving. But other than that, since I at the combine, we really didn't talk. But as soon as I got drafted, man, I just like I said, I was excited because I know the type of guy he is. He's a player's coach, and that's what all players want when they looking for a coach.
Absolutely, man. And now, since being drafted, you've been receiving a ton of praise from, any sports show. Obviously, Willie Parker, Reggie Bush, he spoke on you recently. So just talk about, man, what does that mean to you? And do you feel any added pressure to perform this upcoming season?
Like I said, like to see Reggie Bush say that, it definitely means a lot. It's much respect, but I try to not really feed in and stuff like that, man. That's not really me. Like I said, I respect it, especially from it coming from him. But at the end of the day, I still got to get on the field, and I still got to play. And like I said, I'm always respect it because they know something that a lot of people don't know that I know. So at the end of the day, I respect it, but I'm not gonna let that get to my head because I haven't played it down yet in the NFL. So at the end of the day, it's just like I got a chip on my shoulder, man. I got something to prove, and I'm not just saying that because I'm a rookie and I just got drafted. I just feel like that's how you got to be playing this game. I always been like that.
Well, I definitely can hear it in your voice, man. Just the humility, but that shit, man, you can hear it, and I think that's ultimately going to help you be very successful, man. As long as you stay on that path, and keep that same mindset, man.
Yeah, like somebody quote, and it said, all a man out here should do in this world, man, is just want an opportunity. That's it. That's it, man. I'm never been the type guy to, ask for this and ask for that. My whole mindset is, man, I just want an opportunity and I just want a chance. And once I get that opportunity and chance, I know I'm not going to look back. So I feel like not even just with football, but with anything in life, man, I feel like people out here, man, should really stop, trying to get this and be greedy for that, man, and just, pray to God and just ask for an opportunity because that's really all you need at the end of the day when it comes down to it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Now, obviously, you picked number 26, and from everything I've read, it's due to your respect to Le'Veon Bell. Now, was there any hesitation in picking 26? Did you go through other numbers?
It was definitely a little bit of hesitation. I was thinking about 21. Really wanted 25, but like I said, my boy had 25 at Maryland. I knew that's been his number, so I wanted him to have it. So
man, you a good dude, man.
Yeah. Nah, man, I understand. It's bigger than football with me, man. I really mean that when I say that. I feel like I'm a genuine dude, man. And a lot of people, once people get to be around me more, a lot of people will see that,
I like that, man, because you know how it is with the number, man. People that touches soul.
Yeah.
Need that number,
but
man.
No, I didn't think about it. I wasn't thinking about 26 for Le'Veon Bell. I just ultimately, like, to tell the truth, I really just was like, you know what, that's the next number.
Okay.
I'm gonna just go with that, and I went with it. And I used to watch Clinton Portis and like guys like Saquon got 26 now, and I love Le'Veon Bell game. So at the end of the day, it was just like, you know what, why not? That's how I look at it.
I like that, man. I like that a lot. Now, speaking of, a couple of your Maryland teammates, man, you're gonna be joining a large amount of your guys on the Pittsburgh Steelers, man. So just talk about your feelings about that, and what's your thoughts on that?
It's a good feeling, man. It feels like kind of like home for real, because you got guys. It's different because a lot of guys go to places and organizations where they really don't have nobody when they first get there. So it's cool that I got a lot of guys, even like Maryland natives, guys like Marcus Allen, Joe Hayden, those guys like that, guys I can relate to. Derwin Gray, just guys where I'm from, the same area as us, man. I get to, they get to bring me in and just show me the ropes.
I like it, man. And now, I was reading about you, and they said that you and Devin Bush, man, y'all got a nice little relationship going and things like that, man. And obviously, with him playing at Michigan, could you talk a little bit about how that whole relationship, that friendship, started out?
It started on the field, bro. Like, remember one time he tackled me and he just got up, talking trash. He was just like, "You can't mess with me." He was like, "You can't mess with me for real." And I was laughing. I was like, "Man, I love that." I was like, "He a great player," and I was just like, "Man, I love that because I'm that type of guy too." So, he said that, and after that, we were just playing ball. And after the game, he had came up to me. He was like, "Man, I love your game, bro. Just keep going." And I told him the same thing. And ever since then, man, I've been a fan of him.
Respect.
And I was looking through your Twitter bio. You have the Bible verse Luke 12:48 on there. Is there some type of reason you have that verse? Is there a deeper meaning for you?
Yeah, much is given, much is required. I got that on me. I got that. That's my first tattoo I ever got on me in high school. Luke 12:48. I did by that. Much is given, much is required, man. So, anything out in this world, whatever somebody will give to you, like I say, even an opportunity, you gotta take that seriously. You know what I'm saying? You gotta take that seriously, and at the end of the day, like I take that as somebody give me a chance, man. I'm taking it, and I'm not gonna look back, and I'm gonna give it all out because that's what they expected.
No, 100%. I know me and Moats can both agree with that for sure,
indeed, man.
and
yes,
can
indeed.
feel that in our own lives. Yeah.
I like that. Now, man, you're going to have an even bigger platform. So I think it is important that you keep that mindset, man, in terms of understanding the importance of giving back and being just an impactful person, man.
Yeah, man, I think that's what it's all about. Like I said, I'm a football player. I love games, but I know that it's more to, it's more to football, it's more to life. And I feel like I've been around a lot of good people, who has raised me right into trying to be 100 steps ahead. Just things like coming into the lead, saving your money, invest, give back to the youth, nonprofits, just a lot of things, try to make, change the world. So I'm not only, trying to come in and play the game that I love. I also want to use my platform and what I had to change the world in a positive way.
I like that, man. I like that a lot. Now, going into this upcoming season, man, what are you most looking forward to?
Really, man, I'm looking forward to, getting to see the vets. I've always been a fan of the game, so it's just gonna be crazy to see guys like Big Ben, the Pouncey, bro, and just a lot of guys, man. That's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to learning. I like to learn. I like to pick people's brain, because I feel like each person I go to, each person I talk to, I can always learn something from them, whether it's negative or positive. So that's something I can't wait to do, man, to just learn, pick those guys' brains that's been there before me, who have earned their stripes, and push forward until I can get there one day.
I like that. I like that a lot, man.
Yeah, dude, that's a good mindset. Definitely learning and curiosity. That's the way to go.
All right. And now, and I was gonna say, man, the last thing we got for you, man, before you get up out of here, just talk about why should Steeler Nation be excited about you, man?
I feel like Steeler Nation should be excited about me, man, because I feel like I can bring a lot to the table when it comes to football. I feel like I bring a lot of excitement to any team or any offense I'm on, and I just feel like, man, I'm not don't really want to brag on myself, but I feel like I'm a home run hitter that just loves to make big plays, and not just for me, but I love to make big plays for my team. That's the type of guy I am, man. I want to be that guy to make a play for the team to get the team going, so that gets everybody else going to make plays. That's the type of guy I am, and I know that's how football works. You see a guy out there making plays going hard for his team. For you to be a football player, it's only right for you to match that energy, man, and go harder. And that's when the championships and stuff start coming in, when you got things going on like that. So that's all I really want to do, man. Just come in and just just make an impact, man. I don't want to come in and be the man. Like I said, I want to come in and learn and just make an impact, man. Even if that's just coming in for a play or two, getting a little carrier pass, it doesn't matter. I know whenever I got the ball in my hands, man, I can make an impact in a lot of ways.
I like that, man. Major respect. And trust me, Steeler Nation is excited. I'm excited for you, man. And ultimately, man, we just appreciate you taking some time out to hop on the podcast with us. Wish you nothing but the best for this upcoming season, man. And keep being great at life, man.
Man, it's no problem. I appreciate you guys for having me. I really appreciate it.
No doubt,
man. Have a good one.
All right.
All right, you too, man.
All right, peace.